retired, and since then, she has begun, or made it for them, to write poetry. So, without further ado, come forward, Mrs. Fields.
Good evening. Please bear with me for the time that it will take me in this presentation of memories about Parker Gray. This is entitled From the Heart of a Child. I didn't know the importance of positions and how people achieve their fame. To me, this was just another transition, and Parker Gray was only a name. School was just another adventure for a little child like me. But Parker Gray held a hand of the future, where one aspired to be all that they could be. For my start in public education had only just begun, and the molding and dedication was really yet to be done. What I vaguely remember of my first principal is his complexion and his size, and I'm certain that standing on this pinnacle was a man that was very wise. His name was Mr. Elam, and was a man that invited respect. I guess to you and to many, he and Parker Gray were bound together in retrospect. But let's begin with Miss Laura Dorsey, who was a soft-speaking, gentle creature. A perfect heart, a perfect mind, and a perfect spirit was of utmost importance in the heart of this teacher. And of course, a good beginning is the secret of achieving success, because it is at this impressionable age that attitudes should be at their very best. This is that firm foundation that Parker Gray laid for us all. From each teacher, there was a perpetuation that encouraged each student to stand tall. I remember well Mrs. Ellen Goods, who was gentle, loving, and sweet. Her heart was warm and tender, and teaching little ones made her happiness complete. Her smiles and her tinkling laughter could really warm your heart, and I'll always hold her in loving memory, for she was a teacher that was set apart. In the third grade was Mrs. Alma Murray, who was truly a sweet sensation. She always moved as though she were in a hurry, but in her quiet ways, she produced true inspiration. And then there was Mrs. Alma Bushgard. She was a buxom, motherly lady who provided breakfast for her students who needed it. And as a teacher, she allowed for no babies. Now, it seems at this point in his long hitch, Mr. Elam had left us along the way. And our new principal became Mr. William H. Pitts, who received his maximum at Old Parker Gray. Now, Miss Susie Anderson was prim and proper, but had a message for the teens of this age. She taught for perfection in her classroom, and with her, there was no rampage. Mrs. Flora Chase was a master teacher of business, and she was as kind as she could be. And we had as our librarians the prim and prissy Mrs. Dorothy P. Keith. It seemed that most of our teachers were women, but there was one who demanded special attention. God had given her special talents, and she used them in every dimension. Helen Robertson had extra talents in music. It was the love of her life, you see. That's the only thing. But in everything, she would strive for perfection and was quick to give you the third degree. There was so much vanity in Edith Casey, who flaunted her teachings around. Just the opposite was Mr. Arthur Bracey, who taught professionally with firm feet on the ground. His shop was a great sensation to the progress of Parker Gray, for many boys established a vocation that helped them along their way. But it was really Coach Lewis Johnson that brought Parker Gray all of its fame, for winning was his constitution, and every opponent will remember that name. All over the state of Virginia, there were cheers for old Parker Gray. They won by grit and great determination. There was fulfillment, and pride was strong in that day. Now, Mrs. Ruby Johnson developed spirit and beauty in all that she had to do, and we responded with a sense of duty to develop creativity, and winning abilities too. I remember those special activities where at home they won their greatest acclaim by producing the best in their students with love and devotion. They were about the same. I heard that Coach Johnson at times could really be very rough, but I guess this was really needed to have a team that was so tough. Now let's go to the heart of my profession, where I really found true inspiration. Mr. E.L. Patterson was everyone's obsession. It was as though music was his creation. He brought beauty and joy to every composition, and rehearsing was a job to be done. So when it came to any competition, we knew that there were prizes that had to be won. But there was so much joy found just playing and in singing, and those melodies still linger on. For in my heart, they will always be ringing, and Mr. Patterson will never be gone. Ferris Holland, the scientist and chemist, was loved by teachers and students too. I understood that he was also a gymnast before the PE teachers came through. He was also a progressive person, and business was his piece of cake. He could make success in every direction, and Papa Gray, these benefits did take. Last, but certainly not least, in no imagination, Reverend Aldrich Atkins, who was held in high esteem by students and all in the field of education. He was a genius in this Papa Gray regime. There was absolute thoroughness in his teaching. You'd never be left floundering around. The top in grammar and math you'd be reaching, for in this field, he was the best that was in town. As I've heard, he was the very first teacher when Papa Gray was a one-room school, and he was husband, father, and preacher, and everything was done to the rule. He always called me his sweetheart, yet he popped me just the same for leaning and looking out of the window, and his belt had no special name. He smiled, but remained my idol. For some, he told they'd be dumb all their days.